Hi guys, my name is Richard Johnson and welcome to my first vlog on skills versus capacity in the weight room. This video will contain 4 of my athletes or clients. 2 performing a barbell back squat where I will analyse the exercise and identify and address whether there are any capacity issues within the athlete that is affecting their performance, or whether the underlying issue is from a skill perspective that is affecting the movement pattern. The same will be done with the other 2 athletes, but this time performing an Olympic weightlifting movement, the Snatch. I will provide corrective exercises and exercise alternatives for any of the issues that arise.
Before we start, I will give a quick overview on the differences between skills and capacities. What amounts to a skill? Skills come from the global representations we have, the accumulation we have amongst our neuromuscular system to enable us to use our capacities to complete tasks effectively. Skills can be achieved through practice and exploration. Exploration in practice being delivered with much higher levels of variability and different ways an athlete could solve the movement problem. What amounts to a capacity? It's about structures and aspects of general function that moderates the system response and moderates the ability of your body to deliver particular movement outcomes or to achieve objectives. So the first video emphasising capacity issues is of my athlete Lloyd performing a barbell back squat. Generally, Lloyd's movement patterning isn't too bad. However, this side view clip of him squatting in a sagittal plane highlights a slight tail tuck at the bottom of the movement, and his depth is limited. His dorsiflexion range is actually pretty good, and research by Brad Schoenfeld suggests that an angle of 20 degrees is ideal for athletic performance. Therefore, I believe this lack of depth and tail tuck comes about from tight hamstrings, poor glute activation and poor core control and strength. As you can see, his increased forward lean of his torso accommodates for these issues, and the bar path is affected moving away from his midfoot, although his natural genetic makeup of short torso and long limbs doesn't help this situation. The rear view video highlights his foot pronation on the descent of the squat. This could be the result of issues further up the chain. I personally feel that manipulation and mobilization of foot intrinsics can help this issue. Moving forward, to help Lloyd squat, I would get him squatting to a box with a wider stance in order to help his pelvic control, as well as putting a mini band above his knees to help cue him with a constraint-based approach and drive his knees out to activate his glutes. 2 examples of exercises I would use are an 8-point balance for ankle, knee and hip alignment and stability, as well as a standing fitball abduction for glute and hip isolation. Further mobility work for his hip musculature is required. In contrast to Lloyd's squat, here is Matt, again performing a barbell back squat. However, this is an example of the movement pattern being a skill issue. As you can see, Matt's squat is driven by more of a hip hinge pattern, very similar to a good morning type movement. Because of this horizontal lean of the torso, Matt doesn't utilise his full range of knee flexion and dorsiflexion, and as a consequence could potentially be causing shear forces to occur at the lumbar region of his spine. His bar path moves away from his centre of mass and midfoot, as well as slight lumbar flexion occurring in his lower back. In order to check to see whether Matt's squat pattern is due to capacity issues or skill-based issues, I performed 2 tests. I did a knee to wall test to check his dorsiflexion range of motion. As you can see, his scores were very high, measuring over 15 centimeters on each ankle. I then got Matt to perform rocking, where he starts in a quadruped position and effectively squats without gravity, allowing you to see his hip, knee and ankle flexion and body posture. It is quite clear to see that he has good range of motion, and with correct coaching of technique and repatterning of the squat movement, he should be able to perform a technically good squat. 2 exercises I chose to help Matt to remodel his squat pattern are a TRX squat and a kettlebell goblet squat to box. Both movements are teaching him to initiate the squat with his hips, but then quickly following with simultaneous knee and ankle flexion. The TRX straps provide stability and control to the movement whilst maintaining an upright posture. An introduction of the kettlebell to his chest and squatting to a box provides counterbalancing to his weight distribution whilst on the descent, as well as pelvic control, maintaining an upright posture, and extra load to add to the stimulus. Volume and repetition is now required to ingrain the correct motor pattern. Moving on to a different specific weight room activity, we have Erica performing a snatch. Here I will highlight any potential capacity issues that may affect her from getting into the correct desired position. Erica is fairly new to Olympic weightlifting, so there are always technical issues we can address. However, for now, I will solely focus from a capacity issue perspective. Analysing Erica's position at the bottom of the lift before beginning the first pull, immediately you can see difficulty in achieving the desired range of motion. She has excessive curvature through her lumbar spine, which potentially flags issues around ankle mobility and tightness through her hip musculature, in particular hip flexors, hamstrings, or lumbar erectors. At the end of the lift, during the catch phase of the snatch, she can't achieve a full overhead squat pattern, and therefore results in performing a power snatch, which is a derivative of the full snatch where the catch remains in a quarter squat position rather than below parallel. It is clear to see tightness through her thoracic region and shoulder mobility is lacking. To rectify the desired position in order to hold the bar above her head, you can see her thoracic spine hyperextend. Immediately I performed 2 screening tests, enabling me to understand where the issues occur. The knee to wall highlighted poor ankle mobility, in particular on her left leg, where she measured at 6 centimeters. With the use of a dowel rod, I analysed her overhead squat position. The overhead squat is a great tool to identify imbalances up and down the chain. Due to the dowel rod being light in weight, any asymmetries or deficiencies are difficult to hide. As you can see, Erica has limited range of motion through her ankle complex. Her squat depth really suffers whilst having excessive forward lean of her trunk. Tightness through her thoracic spine and limited shoulder mobility means that she struggles to keep the path of the bar over her midfoot. Exercises I've prescribed for Erica to help these issues over time involve foam rolling of her calf muscles. Self-myofascial release of her tight calves should help with her dorsiflexion range, as well as providing a solution for her lack of control, strength and balance. Further to this, I've provided an ankle protocol involving manipulation of landmarks of the foot, increasing activation, stability and control of the foot and ankle complex. The videos show talus mobilization, cuboid manipulation and monkey feet, where mobilizing the toes and releasing the tension occurs. To help with thoracic mobility, you can see Erica performing a thread the needle exercise, as well as using a band in order to release tension and tightness through her lats. In contrast to Erica, next is a video of Jeff performing a snatch and demonstrating issues from a skill perspective. Jeff has a background in elite level gymnastics and has played around with his Olympic weightlifting but hasn't done much. Straight away, if we compare him and Erica in their overhead squat positions, the difference is clear to see. The mobility due to Jeff's high level of gymnastics is evident, and he clearly won't have too many issues with the positional demands of the snatch. From a skill perspective, I stripped the snatch movement pattern back and broke down the phases of the lift. I got Jeff used to jumping with the bar in order to simplify and ingrain the process of triple extension and foot transition. I then coached Jeff through the feeling of starting from the hang position at the end of the first pull, keeping shoulders over the bar whilst bringing the knees back and under the bar during the transition or scoop phase, whilst then creating the feel of the power position just before entering the second pull phase. Moving forward with Jeff, I will pull the movement back even further by using derivatives of the snatch, performing the snatch pull from hip and mid-thigh positioning. Improvements in his skill were evident in only a short period of time. As you can see in the final clip, his bar path has stayed a lot closer to centre of mass. Thank you for watching.